Hey guys, my name's Kim and this is my channel Expedition Through Pages. Today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag for the very first time. I'm really excited to do it this year. I don't know why I didn't do it last year, but I've been watching lots of people's videos this year and it's got me in the mood. And I'm actually kind of on track with my reading, well, at least with regards to how many books I've read so far, because my Goodreads goal was 40 and so far I've read 25. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. That's really good. And I'm kind of on track to read 50 books in a year. So that's amazing for me. I think last year I read 49 books and that was my maximum, and I was really pleased with that. But even though I'm super optimistic about things, I am going back to full-time work next month. So watch everything kind of take a dive. The original creator of this tag, I believe, is Ellie from Earl Grey Books, and I will link her channel in the description just down below for you to go and check out the original if you'd like to. I think it was done in like 2016, so this has definitely been kicking around for a long time now. But yeah, so question number one, what is the best book you've read so far? And for this, I'm going to cheat a little bit because I kind of like to think of my books as in 3 different categories. So fiction books, non-fiction, and then STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I've picked one of my favourites for each of those categories. So my favourite fiction book this year has to be The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I just absolutely love this book. I thought the writing was amazing. I was gripped right from the start. I was just totally interested and just couldn't put the book down. I really grew attached to the characters. I was very emotionally invested. And yeah, it was just a really great read. If you haven't picked it up yet, I would say it's definitely worth the hype because it's definitely a hyped book, that's for sure. And for good reason. This book is a reimagining of the myth of Achilles, but it's looking at it from the perspective of Patroclus, who was, I guess, Achilles' right-hand man. I'm not actually sure how the story goes down in the actual myth. I still haven't found that out. But in this story, we're following them, we're following their friendship and following their romance, and it's really good. So for my non-fiction pick, I've decided to go with Life as a Unicorn by Amru Al-Qadi. This is Amru's memoir, and in this story, they talk about their experiences growing up in a very strict Muslim household, realising that they were gay, moving to the UK, their experiences in school at the UK, in university at the UK, and ultimately becoming a drag queen, and their experiences with that, their family and the Muslim religion. So yeah, it was just really good. It was really eye-opening and I highly, highly recommend it. I actually listened to it on audio and they narrate it themselves, so I would recommend the audiobook as well. And then finally, my third favourite book of the year in the STEM category is Reaching for the Moon by Katherine Johnson. And this is a middle grade autobiography, which she wrote, I think, when she was basically 100, which just is one example of how amazing this woman is, that she wrote a book at 100. Anyway, the first half of this book mainly concentrates on her life and experiences growing up in segregated America, and then the second half focuses more on her experiences working at NASA as a mathematician and how she managed that as a black woman and her experiences there. The film Hidden Figures is based on her life and some of her colleagues' life as well. And at the end she does talk a little bit about the differences. I think she says it's about 70% correct. I think it was really great that she decided to write this for children and to inspire them in the field of maths, because it was very inspiring. And very blunt as well. She was very kind of blunt with talking about racism and her experiences with that as well. There was no shying away from the facts of the matter, and I think that for children is also extremely important. So yeah, love this book, recommend this too. Okay, so that's the end of my indulging in my favourite books of the year so far. So next up is my favourite sequel of the year, and this was really difficult to choose because, okay, I'm reading The Realm of the Elderlings by Robin Hobb, so I'm not going to lie, most of the rest of this video is going to be heavily based on Robin Hobb. But the thing is, I could not do it because if I'm totally honest about this, then that's the answer. She's the answer to a lot of questions. Not all the questions, but to a lot of questions. But the favourite sequel that I decided to go with was The Ship of Destiny, which is book 3 in the Life Ship Traders series. And I think so far the Life Ship Traders series has been my favourite Robin Hobb series in the Realm of the Elderlings. In this book you're following mainly the Vestrit family and their live ship, which is a ship that comes to life once 3 generations of the family that owns it dies on the decks. And aside from the Vestrit family, you're also following a pirate called Kennet. And yeah, it's just really good. But yeah, I'm not going to go too much on about these books because I've talked about them so much on my channel. So that's all I'm really going to say. Okay, question number 3 is, what is a new release that you haven't read yet but you want to? And I've got 2 that come to mind, that came to mind pretty much straight away. And the first one is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Really want to read that book, and I've heard good things so far from trustworthy people, so I'm happy about that. And the other book that I really want to read, and I haven't yet, is Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. So close to reading this in my friends and family book club, but then another book won and it was awful. So, such a shame. Question number 4 is, what is the most anticipated release for the second half of the year that I'm looking forward to? And for this, to be honest, I'm really bad at new releases and looking up new releases and keeping on track of things. But there are actually 2 books that have been made by YouTubers that I really, really want to get my hands on. The first one is a fantasy book that's been written by Jean from Jean's Bookish Thoughts. She's currently in the progress of self-publishing her book, The Flames of Albion, which is going to be coming out in September, and I really want to get my hands on it. I feel like she reads so much fantasy, and I've got so into fantasy in this last year that I feel like I trust her to write a good one because she reads so much of it. We'll see how it ends up being. But I'm really, really excited to read it. All I really know about it is I think there's a female-female relationship and there are dragons, and that's all I really know. But to be honest, that's all I really want to know. And it's the start of a series as well, so I'm hoping that I really like it and then I can continue with the series when she writes it. And in the second one, I'm kind of cheating here as well because this book doesn't actually come out till January 2022, so should I mention it? Nah, I'm going to mention it. And that is Firmament by Simon Clarke. So this is a science non-fiction book, a popular science book. And Simon is another YouTuber. He started off doing vlogs at his university, following his university life that I was watching because I was also at university. He gained a PhD in atmospheric physics, where I think he was modelling, doing a computer simulation to model the atmosphere. And this book is about the atmosphere, and it's about climate change, and it's about scientists working within the field. And yeah, it technically comes out next year, but it's so very close to the end of this year that I'm going to count it. I'm really excited to read it. He knows his stuff, he's done a PhD, he makes lots of videos about atmospheric physics as well. So yeah, I'm excited to get to that one. Okay, then the next question is, what is your biggest disappointment so far? And this, I have to choose the quantum universe. I usually love all things quantum, like everything I read about quantum physics. Like, it just blows my mind. It doesn't ever stop blowing my mind. But this book, I feel like it was difficult to follow in a lot of places, even though it did have some good. Overall, I didn't really like the vibe, the writing style. I felt at certain points they could be a little bit too patronising for me, at the same time as overcomplicating things. And anyway, so yeah, that was a disappointment. So it wasn't all bad. I think I gave it 3 stars or something in the end, but it definitely wasn't what I was hoping it was going to be. Okay, next up is, what was your biggest surprise? And for that, it has to be The Uncommon Reader by Alan Bennett. I picked this up randomly for the book covered book club run by Caitlin from the Lit Review, and just because it's yellow, and that was the prompt. And I really liked it in the end. It just follows the Queen and kind of imagines a world of what would happen if the Queen suddenly became really interested in books. And I thought it was charming, thought it was funny, and yeah, I was pleasantly surprised that I enjoyed it. Number 7 is who has become a favourite new author of yours this year, and I'm going to choose Madeline Miller for this because I just love The Song of Achilles so much. But I've only read one of her books, so I'm hoping that I will continue to like her other books. I think, has she only done Circe so far? I actually don't know. But I have high hopes for Circe because I know that loads of people love that as well. So yeah, I think she's fast becoming one of my favourite new authors. Okay, then questions 8 and 9 I'm kind of going to squish together because number 8 is, who is your fictional crush? And number 9 is, who is your favourite character? And I don't really have any fictional crushes, to be honest. But I do have a lot of love for this character, and that is the Fool from the realm of the Elderlings. I just love the Fool so much. I feel like there's not a way to describe the Fool very easily, but they're such an interesting character. So many different layers. If you've read the series, you probably understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, I just love the fall so much. And sticking in the realm of the Elderling series, the next question is, what's a book that made you cry? And that has to be Fool's Errand by Robin Hobb. And this is book 1 of the Tawny Man trilogy, so it's the 3rd trilogy in the realm of the Elderlings. And this book, honestly, I don't think I've ever cried so much at a book in my life. And I don't know if you follow Becca from Becca and the Books. She's the one who's running the Elderlingalong read-along of these books. And she vlogged herself reading this book. And her reaction is basically what happened to me. So if you want to know how much it made me cry, go check out her vlog and you'll see. But yeah, heartbreaking. I can't tell you why, but heartbreaking. In the opposite vein, number 11 is a book that made you happy, and this has to be The Martian by Andy Weir. This is why I'm so excited to get to Project Hail Mary, because I felt like this book was just, like, inspired me when I listened to it. I was just really felt like I could go onto Mars with the main character and problem solve my way out of a situation, when in reality I would be a mess in the corner of the room. But yeah, I listened to this on audio and Will Wheaton narrated it, and I thought he did a fantastic job. He was a little bit like OTT at times, but I really enjoyed it and I was smiling almost every time I listened to it. Then next up we've got What is the Most Beautiful Book You've Bought This Year? And this, back to Realm of the Oddling, sorry, is Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. This is the illustrated edition and it's absolutely humongous. I mean, look at that. But I think it's beautiful. There are some marks on the front that came when it was delivered, but you know, hey ho, have to get over that. And yeah, it's got these really lovely maps in the front. There are really nice illustrations in it as well. So I just think it's beautiful and I can't wait to reread them reading these editions, and I do hope that she does all of them, although there are 16, so it's going to take up a lot of room in my house. But yeah, I really think that this book is just lovely. But the last question is, are there any books that you have to read by the end of the year? And the first books that kind of came to mind as books that I absolutely have to read by the end of the year are the witchy books that we're reading for the X Book Club, which I run alongside Hannah from Hannah's blog. And after this round of witches, there'll be one more before the end of the year. So whatever books we choose for that quarter of the year will be another 2 books that I have to read. Then I am following the Elderlingalong, like I mentioned almost every video, which is run by Becca and the Books. So I went onto her video to have a little sneak peek at what books we're going to be reading for the rest of this year. So I'll just show you. We've got 3 more books to read this year, and then it goes right into like September 2022, so it's a long old read along. And so we've got Fool's Fate, which is the next one in the Tawny Man series, which I'm so eager to get to. And then we start the Lunar Chronicles, which is the 4th series in the realm of the Elderlings, and we're going to read book 1, which is Dragon Keeper, and book 2, which is Dragon Haven. And then lastly, I'm really hoping to participate in a new read-along, which is called Lunar Along, and it's reading the books in the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. And this read-along is being run by Amy from A-Star Reads and Danielle from Bookcara. So I'll link both of those channels down below as well if you want to go and check out. And I think the read-along starts in August, and the first book is called Cinder. And I've just ordered the box set, so I'm really looking forward to getting to those with those guys. But yeah, so that's it. That's it for the video. It was so nice to go back and like look at all the books I've read and have a little think about them and stuff. So I've definitely enjoyed doing this tag. I'd really love to know what your favourite books have been this year. And I'd kind of like to know what your worst favourite books are as well. I hope that everyone is doing well, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.